Biological method using bees for explosive detection with the acronym Bee4Exp is a research project supported by NATO through the Science for Peace and Security program. The motivation for this research was not difficult to find. According to the international campaign to ban landmines for 2021, landmines still remain in 55 countries around the world. Since 1999, 130,000 victims have been registered worldwide. In 2016 alone, 8,065 were injured or killed. Data from 2018 showed 3,059 people killed, 3,837 injured, of which 71% are civilians and 55% of civilian victims are children. The main objective of this project is to develop and test innovative methods and technologies for detection of landmines and other unexploded explosive devices that may be hidden in the environment. The project involves application of several technologies including honeybees for passive and active sensing of explosive vapors, organic semiconductor sensor films integrated with beehives, optical analysis of sensor film samples to identify explosive particles, unmanned aerial vehicles with high-definition and thermal imaging cameras to capture videos of bees' behavior over the observation area, and video processing and artificial intelligence for bees distribution analysis. The project started in November 2017 and will last until the end of October 2021. The project budget is €394,000. The project consortium consists of Croatian Mine Action Center, Center for Testing, Development and Training from Croatia, University of Banja Luka, Faculty of Electrical Engineering, Bosnia and Herzegovina, University of Zagreb, Faculty of Transport and Traffic Sciences, Croatia, and St. Andrews University from United Kingdom. The system developed in the project uses two complementary landmine detection methods, passive sampling and active search. Passive sampling aims to confirm the presence of explosive materials in a mine-suspected area by the analysis of explosive material brought back to the colony on honeybee bodies returning from foraging trips. The active search is intended to be able to pinpoint the place where individual landmines are most likely to be present through bees distribution analysis. Basically, honeybees are trained to smell explosives and actively search over the field which is suspected to contain explosives. The electrostatic charge on honeybees' body hair attracts particles from their flight area. Thousands of honeybees from a single colony accumulate these particles during foraging and bring them back to the colony. Particles of TNT brought back to the colony can be analyzed using optical sensors for the specific detection of nitroaromatic vapors. A light-emitting polymer known as an organic semiconductor is used as the sensor film. The light emission decreases in real time on contact with an explosive particle, shown by a characteristic curve in the diagram. This indicates the presence of explosives and hence landmines in the surveyed area. The sensor can be made selective to a particular compound, like TNT, via molecular imprinting, or specific to detect compounds in a mixture via the development of the optical instrumentation. Pre-concentration is a common technique in the environmental monitoring, where trace amounts of a chemical build up over time on a surface to enable detection. By using canvas coated in a commercial fluoropolymer, the bees deposit any explosives from their body onto the pre-concentrator as they return from foraging. By heating the pre-concentrators to around 100 degrees, the collected explosives dissolve from the surface and come into contact with the sensor film. The loss of light indicates the presence of landmines. The selectivity of the sensor can be seen where a DNT imprinted sensor allows the ingress of the DNT molecules, but not DynoSeb or DMDNB. Over the course of the project, with frequent field testing, the sensitivity of the method was increased by improvements in practice, analysis, and materials. Knowledge and understanding the variation of bees' activities during the day or season of the year is very important for planning testing activities within active and passive methods. We developed and tested the systems for counting bees entering and exiting the hives using IR detectors, resistive dividers, and video analysis. Moreover, multi-sensor system for remote monitoring of environmental parameters is designed in such a way to collect data related to the specific environmental parameters on apiaries and to provide remote access to measured values. For active search for explosive, bee colonies are conditioned in the 120 square meters mesh tent. In order to avoid visual cues, two types of feeders were used for conditioning. Targets are composed of the 20 cm diameter Petri dish with odor of raw military TNT covered with soil from surroundings. On top of the soil feeder made of the 10 cm diameter Petri dish with glass filled with light sugar solution was placed. Controls were the same, but without the odor of raw military TNT and food source. Honeybee colonies were kept in the tent for 4 to 5 days. Honeybees learn fast, but also they stop foraging activity on specific odor if food reward is diminished. Therefore, after hives are transferred to the examination area, bees are recognitioned using the appropriate arrangement of hives and feeders in order to prolong their interest for TNT. We were now left with rather a difficult task of tracking flying honeybees and finding those places that bees visit most often. The equipment used for video acquisition consists of two different types of UAVs and cameras. The commercial UAV DJI Inspire 1 Volume 2 with the X5R camera and a large hexacopter built specially for this task, equipped with the GoPro 6 Black camera and Here Plus real-time kinematic GPS positioning upgrade. We used 4K resolution of 3840 by 2160 pixels and 25 frames per second. Because of the significant turbulence caused by UAVs, we decided to fly and capture from a height of around 10 meters above the ground, so the pixel size is 2.2 millimeters. The aim of video analysis is to find the locations most visited by the honeybees trained to actively search for explosive vapors. Based on those detections and counting number of bees during trials, bees distribution map is generated. The locations where a notably higher number of bees were found comparing to other locations in the area are declared as potentially suspected to the presence of the explosives. Detection of bees in video is one of the most challenging tasks in computer vision. Even the human observer must make a significant effort to find bees by watching video. Among others, difficulties in automatic video analysis are caused by other moving objects, and the application of artificial intelligence is hampered by difficulties in manual annotation. When we compare the results of automatic analysis on the right and the original video on the left of this slide, the complexity of the research problem is quite apparent. In enlarged images of two adjacent frames of a video sequence, we can see how small the difference between still images is when they contain or do not contain bees. To solve the problem of bee detection in video in the visible part of the spectrum, we use a fusion of information about bees' appearance and motion, analyzing groups of adjacent frames. For bees detection in video sequences, video signal stabilization methods, background estimation and removal, and convolutional neural networks are used to obtain a spatial distribution of bees that can indicate locations potentially contaminated with explosive particles. For convolutional neural network training, large datasets are needed. Labeling flying honeybees in videos is difficult and error-prone. Because of that, we created and used a synthetic training dataset obtained by adding artificially generated images of honeybees to real-world backgrounds. In this example of generating a bee's distribution map from a video sequence, the upper part of the screen contains the original video in which the detected bees are colored with red circles for better visibility. The lower part of the screen shows the bee's distribution map, which indicates the location where the feeder is located, which bees visit most often. For testing both the passive and active method, we used test minefields in Croatia. The Benkovac test site is situated in the coastal region of Croatia. It covers 10,000 square meters with 3 different types of soil and offers the opportunity to test and validate equipment, techniques and methodologies. It contains 1,000 landmines buried at various depths. The Cerovac test site is located near Karlovac with a total area of 55,000 square meters. It is used for testing of demining machines, mine detection with dogs and handlers, as well as for development and training in demining. For testing and certification of mine detection, 66 testing boxes of 10 by 10 meters have been set up. Data acquisition for an experimental evaluation of the active methods was organized and carried out at the educational apiary Borongai at the University of Zagreb and the test minefields in Benkovac and Cerovac in Croatia. For testing the active method, 2 boxes at Benkovac test minefield with the known location of landmines are chosen. DJI Inspire 1 Volume 2 with the X5R camera and the homemade hexacopter equipped with the GoPro 6 Black camera and HERE Plus RTK GPS positioning were used in these experiments. The heat map is produced by applying the described approach of bees distribution analysis on the video sequences recorded on test minefields. Locations of landmines are marked with blue circles in the shown example frames and heat maps. The heat maps indicate that there is a good agreement between the actual location of landmines and locations where elevated honeybee detection counts are observed. We expect that fusion of information from the visible spectrum and thermal infrared videos should improve the detection results and expand the possibilities of applying the active method for searching for explosives. A detailed methodology was developed to achieve passive collection and detection of explosive residues using a colony of honeybees and novel molecularly imprinted sensor materials. A new approach was proposed to enable the fluorescent sensors to better discriminate between different explosives and distractants. A new method for bees distribution analysis from UAV video based on convolutional neural networks was developed and tested. Further development of the passive and active methods as well as their combined use is crucial to improve, validate and commercialize the system and make a global impact on explosives detection. Scientific research results achieved during the implementation of the Bee4Exp project are presented in high-impact journals as well as in scientific and professional conferences. The video used for testing as well as the code for bees distribution analysis are publicly available. The Bee4Exp project attracted a lot of media attention. Reports on project activities have been published in a large number of magazines, radio and TV shows, of which only some of them are listed here. This presentation of the Bee4Exp project ends with a few pictures of the project team's activities. Thank you for watching.